We always learn and grow with one another. It is my commitment to provide alternative ways to heal, and it is my mission to make awareness, responsibility, and truth a part of our everyday life. And I hope you, my listening friend, will feel empowered to live the life of your dreams. I'm excited today because I get to share with you my experience yesterday as we had the first fundraiser benefiting the McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation. You know, there's a scene in the movie The Matrix. I don't know how many of you have heard or watched the movie The Matrix. There is a time where Keanu Reeves has to make a decision whether or not he's going to take the red pill and the blue pill. Are you with me still? Are you with me with that moment? I went back to watch that movie after refusing to watch it again. I went back with a new mindset and a new attitude, as the Matrix is really our intestinal system and the good cells fighting the bad cells, or the microorganisms fighting each other. And when I watched the movie that way, it made a lot more sense to me than when I watched it as, okay, I just can't get into this movie because it's so science fiction-y. But the reality is that our body, with the good bacteria and the bad bacteria, they go through a lot of this stuff. So there comes a time in a person's life where you have to make that decision. Do I take the red pill and wake up to what's truly happening within me? Or if I take the blue pill, I can go back and live like there's nothing wrong, and continue doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. Well, I took the red pill as a result of the Lillian McDermott radio show and all the teachers that have been on the show. I didn't take it on purpose. It was something that when people were on my show, I was listening, I was considering, I was open, and it started making sense to me. So I want to talk to you today about the McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation and what led to starting the McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation. For those of you who listen to the show regularly, you've heard the commercials about the McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation. We're in its infancy and we want to make a difference. We want to change the way that people heal their bodies. And so if you are in the middle of a dys-ease, discomfort, perhaps maybe your doctor can't figure out what you have. Well, today's the day that I want to share some of the good news that I've learned from some of the teachers, Dr. Bruce Lipton, Dr. Joel Furman, Dr. Bernard, all the people from Forks Over Knives, Dr. Andrew Saul, all the people that Dr. Carlos Garcia, Dr. James Forsyth, Dr. Charles Majors. These are people that have been on the show, teachers, highly credentialed, that have taught me a new truth. There was a time that people thought the earth was flat. They thought that was the way it was, but it wasn't so. Someone came along and said, hey, there is something else going on. There is a new truth out there. The earth might be a sphere. Let's check it out. There are some people that still believe the earth is flat. They're called the Flat Earth Society. You can check it out. They're very passionate about protecting their truth. So today we're going to talk about a new truth and how the McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation came about. And we're going to continue our conversation when we return worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. I'll be right here waiting for you. Not used to that anymore, are you? Oh my goodness. What a morning we've had here today. But we get to.
Once again, here's Lillian.
And welcome back to the Lillian McDermott Radio Show, where we always learn from one another. And today I get to tell you about my story of the McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation. As you know, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but in the Florida Today newspaper and throughout, many people are doing walks and creating a lot of awareness. There's been a lot of organizations that have made cancer a part of our giving and donating. And so we got used to that. That's to me, the blue pill. You know, they declared war on cancer. Nixon, back when Nixon was president, declared war on cancer. And what has happened since then? Trillions of dollars have been collected, but nothing has changed. The only form of treatment that is approved is chemotherapy, radiation, and surgery. And although if you choose that for yourself, that's great. But do you know the facts? Do you know that there's probably, there could be other things that might be able to heal your body? So I want to share a little bit about how I came to the passion that I have in the McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation. I had Dr. Lorraine Day on my show. This was back in 2013, 2014. And I was doing research on water and supplements, and her name came up. So I started going down that little rabbit hole, and I found her. But at the time in 2014, I wasn't sure about holistic healing or alternative, integrative, Eastern, whatever you want to call it, medicine. I wasn't 100% sold on it. I thought that many of them were quacks, and you never know. There are a lot of doctors out there that are wonderful, and there are other doctors that you might say, I'll never go to them again. Just because they have a degree or anything behind them, that doesn't make that infallible. You're a person, and you know what you know, and you know what you don't know, but it's what you don't know that just ain't so. We don't know what that is. So we have to be our own advocates. So Dr. Lorraine Day was the first doctor I interviewed, and she refused chemotherapy. She had stage 4 cancer. She had a lump in the middle of her chest, and they biopsied it, and they confirmed that it was cancer. And she was in her deathbed, stage 4, ready to die, hospice. And all of a sudden, something happened to her where she was, according to what people would said back to her after the fact, they said that she was so gray and so frail that they thought she would die within a couple of days. When hearing that, she started thinking, man, is this how I'm going to go? Prominent orthopedic surgeon in California, voted most beautiful doctor. She was just an absolutely stunning woman. Here she was in her deathbed, angry, full of resentment, not knowing who her higher power, not having purpose. And she started thinking about this stuff. And she asked for the person that was her caregiver to take her outside and give her water and do these things. And little by little, she started to thrive. It took her 4 years to get back to 100%. But 22 years later, she's still a guest on my show. She was the first one in 2014, and it was early 2014 when I had her on the show. I was very impressed with her. She's very passionate, but I wasn't ready to learn completely that the earth was a sphere. I was still searching. So I did a little bit more homework, and I started, a friend of mine told me, my friend Judy Bressler, who is always growing with me, told me about this workshop that they had where they were talking about this doctor that had 8 weeks to live. He had an inoperable brain tumor, Dr. Charles Majors. And so I went to this workshop to learn what the protocols were. And this was 3 or 4 years after he was told to go home and die. 8 weeks to live. He did not want to do chemotherapy. Chemotherapy would have given him maybe a week extra, but the quality of life he would have had during that time, the doctor said, just wouldn't be worth it for him. And so he started looking at holistic, out of desperation, started looking for holistic doctors that will treat his inoperable brain tumor. Young man in his 40s. And he found a doctor, and he was so excited about it. He went all over the world, had his own protocol, and was thriving. 2 years prior, 9 months prior to me booking him on the show, we kept trying to figure out a day. During this time, I've lost several people to cancer. Including some of my husband's relatives. That was very difficult because you feel like there's nothing you can do. You get the cancer diagnosis, then you either do chemotherapy, radiation, surgery, and that's it. That's all there is. And so when I learned about Dr. Charles Major's story, I decided that I was going to have him on my show. It took us 9 months, but we finally got him on the show. About January 2015, I was flown to California, and I met this man. I was doing a television show there, and I met this man who had this product that I have on my favorites called, the name, Poly-MVA. So Poly-MVA, I learned about it, and I scheduled him, Al Sanchez, on the show after I met him, and I heard his story about these are the nutrients that someone needs to take when somebody has cancer. You can do it before, or you can do it during, or you can do it afterwards, but it helps the body replenish the nutrients that are wiped out, or that once you have cancer that are wiped out. And so 2 days prior to the show, or the day before the show, I said to Al, I don't have enough here. I really need a doctor that uses Poly-MVA. Do you have an oncologist that uses Poly-MVA? And he says, yes, James Forsyth. I said, okay, bring him on. Let's bring him on the show. Can you get him on? And he said, let me call. And yes, within 24 hours, Dr. James Forsyth, he is an oncologist, and he is a holistic, he's double board certified oncology and integrative oncology. He's both double board certified. So I had him on the show, and I didn't quite understand what he was saying. But finally, he said, I only do a clinical trial for stage 4 cancers. That is it. It's been going on for 5 years. What's the success rate? 70. Well, at the time it was 62% or 65%. I didn't quite get it. These are stage 4, every single one. Stage 4 sent home to die. Yes. Success rate, 65%. I couldn't believe it. I hung up on that show thinking, I got to do some more research. Well, fortunately, I had Dr. Charles Major 2 days after that. And guess who was Dr. Charles Major's doctor, who helped him heal his body, get rid of his brain cancer, which we all have cancer in our body anyway, but to the point where he had 8 weeks to live. Now here we were 4 years later on my show with a doctor that helped him heal his body, had been on my show 2 days prior. Tell me that's not the divine telling you to listen. Listen, the earth is not flat. It's a sphere. So I listened, and I listened good. I have a scheduler, my assistant, and she scheduled me the following week with a bunch of doctors that were oncologists, that were healing cancer, healing the body, because they're not healing cancer. They're healing the body naturally, which kills the cancer or allows you to thrive and builds all the other cells so that the cancer cells that you have don't really make a difference that much to the point where you're going to die any day. Well, then the following week comes, and I have Bill Henderson, and we have Dr. Carlos Garcia, and we have all these. And I found myself going to one of these treatment centers where they treat the body, not the cancer. They treat the body, and they give the body what they need. And every single person that was in that group. There were about 23 of them receiving magnesium, vitamin C, receiving different treatments that were in their body, that was lacking in their body. None of them had a bald head. Everybody's skin was glowing. They were happy. They were working on their issues, their childhood issues, issues that were unresolved, resentments, anything that they were dealing with. It's a mind, body, spirit approach. I had this thing in my body going, what is going on here? I guess this is when I swallowed the red pill and made the choice to go down that rabbit hole that led me to a place where I am at today. And I sat there listening to this, and I asked the doctor, Dr. Garcia, how much is this treatment weekly? And he said, $3,500 a week, depending on how long does it take? About 6 weeks, depending on how healthy you are, or how soon you catch the cancer, or you want to heal your body, or it could take as long as 14 weeks. Who knows? We just let the body tell us what you need. And at that moment, I thought of all the people that had the money, but didn't have this information. And how many people have this information, but could not afford the treatment? And let me tell you, at that point in our life, in my life, we had lost a lot of our financial wealth because of the housing crisis, and I could not afford $3,500 a week if I were sick. And the insurance doesn't pay for it. And it was at that moment that I started processing, what can I do? What can I do? And that night, I was awakened by the answer. Start a foundation to help heal people naturally. Give options. Change the way we look at the face of cancer. That we look at cancer with so much fear. Let's change fear and create hope. Are you, my listening friend, hearing what I'm saying? That there are other ways to heal the body. I'm not talking about cancer. I'm not talking about whatever you're having right now. I'm talking about healing your body, which has a side effect. It's a domino effect that causes your cells to just heal. And all of a sudden, these diseases that you have are no longer there. It's a side effect to eating good food, nutrition, combining what are the nutrients, what are the minerals, what are the things that you need to forgive. And that's what we're going to talk about, the McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation. And I hope you continue to tune in and it become part of the mission that we have as well. And we'll be right here waiting for you worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. So yes, I was told that the Matrix, if I saw, because I don't like science fiction, Brian, and when they said, watch it again as the Matrix being your microbiome, and that this is what's happening in your gut, and it's the brain-gut connection, good bacteria, bad bacteria. And so the first time I saw the Matrix, I fell asleep. I could not get into it. But when I watch it as this is my microbiome, my goodness, it was like it all made sense to me. And I encourage you, Brian, to watch it as well that way, because it'll make sense to you.
I guess I'll have to give it another watch.
Let me tell you, I never thought that I would watch it. Now I'm going to watch the second one because it's time. It's time for me to see. And I'm not a Star Wars kind of girl. I'm not if it's science fiction. I saw that one, The Fight Club. Have you seen The Fight Club?
Yeah.
Well, I was forced to watch The Fight Club when I went to become a life coach, because I annoyed my facilitator so much that he said that you are going to watch Fight Club, because the rule number one is What's rule number one in Fight Club, right?
Don't talk about Fight Club.
They'll talk about Fight Club. And so he was trying to teach me about this, and he forced me to watch Fight Club. I watched Fight Club, and with a different concept, this is the life we create for ourselves. You don't even realize it. You go through life not even knowing what your actions cause. And loved it. Didn't like the violence, but loved it with that in mind. So here we go, Brian. Thank you so much for holding up the fort while I got my computers started and the screens.
5959. Once again, here's Lillian.
And welcome back to the Lillian McDermott Radio Show. And today we are talking about the McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation, a bit about my life and why I started this. I have lost too many people to the side effects of chemotherapy, radiation. And I shared this last week, and I want to share it again. And I am just coming off from a high of our first foundation fundraiser in the villages where people go to live. I love the villages. People retire to start a new life. That place is thriving. And there were 175 extraordinary, inspiring, extraordinary women together in one room, and the energy was wonderful. And I got to share the story of the McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation. And I just wanted to share with you, my listening and my viewing friends, why I am so passionate about holistic health. It was too late for some of the people I love. And perhaps if I would have known this information and shared this information with them, they could have rejected it. Sometimes we hold on to a truth that we were taught when we were kids that may not be so. And so I ask that as you listen to the Lillian McDermott Radio Show and grow with me, that you consider that there could be another truth. I've had doctor after doctor. Dr. Ron Weiss came on the show and said, Lily, it was so disappointing. When I went to medical school, my third year, I was told by the dean of the school, if you think you're going to heal anybody, you are wrong. You will never heal anyone. And you know what? If you think about it, we heal ourselves. The doctors are a vessel. That's what I thought he was going to say. What came out of his mouth after that was, you will manage medication. What? Manage medication? But medication is just one side of who we are. Dr. Ron Weiss made a commitment at that moment that he would graduate well, but that he would make a commitment to learn about nutrition. It took him some time. And his father was dying in the process. His father became his teacher. He went to the library because there was no internet back then. He went to the library and studied, how can I help my dad heal? And he learned about nutrition. Dr. Joel Fuhrman, he graduated over 30 years ago with a nutritional science background. He's an MD who decided to specialize in nutrition. And now he's on my show for the last 2 years, teaching us about G-bombs, greens, beans, mushrooms, onions, berries, seeds, and nuts. And we hear him once a month. What an incredible teacher. So we've heard about these things. We've heard about how you are what you eat, right? But what are we eating? What are we eating? And what is eating us? We've done shows on how childhood trauma could affect us in ways that we don't even know. Did you know that if someone is morbidly obese, especially women that are morbidly obese, they've done studies after studies that show that, and I'm not saying all, it's 85%, have been inappropriately touched in your childhood. How do you start the healing from that? When do we want to start the healing from that? And of course, with all the food intake and all the protection, we'll eat things that are devoid of nutrients. If you had a plant, and I've talked about this before, if you had your favorite potted plant and it's dying, you're not going to put more toxic poison in it. You're going to give it fertilizer, put it out in the sun, give it water, talk to it, give it kind words. Those are all things. And if you would do that for a plant, would you do that for yourself? So those are the things, the keys to living a healthy life. So just recently, I was writing an article for the Florida Today, and I shared this statistic. And it's a 2004 publication. It's in PubMed, and I've put it on my website. You can check it out. And it concludes that the overall contribution of curative and adjuvant cytotoxic chemotherapy to 5-year survival in adults was estimated to be 2.3 in Australia and 2.1 in the United States. And let me tell you, if you're part of that 2.1 survival rates, congratulations. Here's a thing I want you to know, that if you have had, or if you are now dealing with a diagnosis of cancer, and you are thinking about doing chemotherapy, before you do chemotherapy, check to see, ask the doctor to do a DNA test that will see if you are allergic to chemo or not. You might be allergic to 3 of the 4 kinds, or 2 of the, whatever, and you might be able to go a different route. Dr. James Forsyth takes 10% of chemotherapy, if you're not allergic to chemotherapy, and injects it through intravenously with insulin. Cancer loves sugar. So if you have cancer right now and you're still eating sugar, guess what? You're feeding your cancer. We've got to take the red pill and start protecting our health and living the life that we want. So that's just a tip if you choose to do chemotherapy. But there are other things that we can do. I want you to go to the McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation.org. There is a section that is called healing therapies, holistic healing. And you click onto holistic healing, and it gives you different kinds: chelation, IV vitamin C, immunotherapy, detoxification, everybody, poly-MBA. And by the way, you can get poly-MBA at a 20% discount on my favorites if you're interested in starting that supplementation. Oxygen, ozone treatment. There's so many different protocols that you can follow. But guess what? Dys-ease is different on everybody. In everybody's body, it's different. So I want to encourage you to figure out what's wrong. You wouldn't take that potted plant and paint it green and put it back into your living room saying, oh, it's done now. You would figure out, what do I need? And if you're a gardener, you intuitively know. And if you sit with your body and just be truly honest with yourself, 100%, no judgment. Just speak to your spirit, that wounded child spirit, that spirit of someone who has been wronged, or that spirit with somebody who abused you. What do you do with that? How about naming it, understanding that that is the past? Stop dragging it with you. Name it, release it. Release it in ways that you can. I want you to discover, along with a like-minded professional, someone who will say, you want to figure out your deficiencies? Here are some tests that we can do. Maybe you're low in magnesium. Maybe you're low in some minerals. Maybe the food you're eating is from a box that has like 15 ingredients that you cannot pronounce. Maybe you eat from a fast food restaurant every day that are devoid of nutrients. It's time. It's time. Movement, exercise, drinking water, breathing, exposure to sunlight, abstinence from sugar. And I said this yesterday, alcohol, and everybody went, whoa, not alcohol. Yes, if you are sick, you may want to abstain a little bit from that, because what you're wanting to embrace is health, not abstain. So if you think you're abstaining from anything, then it's going to be torture. But if you are embracing good health, abstaining for a little bit or for a longer period of time will allow you to get healthy. What about sleep? Are you getting enough sleep? There's so many benefits from sleeping from the hours of 10 and 2. They're called healing hormones that are released during that time only. Connect with your higher power. Connect. Find out why you were created. Figure out your purpose. Meditate, prayer, breath. Breathe in that goodness that Creator has created in you. An attitude of gratitude. Oh my gosh. Gratefulness, gifts and lessons, expectations, forgive, accept. These are things that will help you heal more than a pill. More than a pill, because you can take that pill. But if you're not willing to do the work, nothing will help you. And the benefits of nutrition cannot be trumped with anything other than your thoughts. The way you think will trump it. And giving back. We're all one. We need to be giving back. This show for me is giving back. Because we are all connected. What happens to you happens to me. And that's why I started the McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation. And I would love for you to consider donating. Go to the McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation.org. That's McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation.org. Donate, celebrate, and heal. And we're going to continue our conversation worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. When we return, we'll be right here waiting for you. Okay, so there are so many different kinds of therapies. If you go to McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation, donate, and let's start the healing process. Maybe you can't donate. Maybe you want to be a doctor to donate your time. Maybe you are someone who knows people that can donate. There are so many different ways. There's time, talent, and treasure. So we need everything. We're still in its infancy. It's been discouraging to go out there and say, guess what? You can heal. You can heal yourself, just like the trees come out of hibernation in the winter and they look so beautiful in the spring. Your body can heal too. So I'm encouraging you to figure out what are the deficiencies. There's so many different tests. We have Dr. Richard Horowitz that comes on the show and talks about how to figure out how to heal from Lyme disease. How do you do that? Well, he has a 16-point protocol, a 16-step protocol that you can follow. Bring the book to your doctor. Have your doctor help you. There's so many different ways that we can heal our body. There's so many different ways. We're not just a body. We have a mind. We have a spirit as well. So a lot of doctors believe, and Dr. Mona Lisa Scholes believes that every illness in your body manifests from childhood trauma. And that childhood trauma could be passed on through your DNA. That's how strong it is. And that's why it's so important to heal past hurts, forgive, love. And listen, by the way, I just want to tell you, there's a difference between forgiveness and trust. You may forgive somebody and love somebody from afar, but that doesn't mean they have to come back to hurt you. Trust takes a lifetime to build and a moment to lose it. And when you lose it, you start from square one again. And that person that hurt you, they need to work at whatever they need to do to gain that trust again. Now, you can forgive, and if it's abusive, then do not. Unless a year goes by, just stay away from that person for a while. Every circumstance is different. I'm not telling you what to do, but just know anybody can change for 3 months. Anyone can change for a short period of time. They can't change for a year. So let them go through whatever they need to go through so that you can decide whether or not you trust them enough to have them back in your life. So that is one of the things. McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation, what we would like to eventually do is pair up with other doctors and other organizations that would like for us to pay for treatments. And of course, any doctor that would want us to pay for treatments, they would have to give us a huge discount as well. And if you would like to contribute and be a benefactor of the scholarships that we're going to be offering once we have the money, then you have to do everything it takes to change. I'll give you an example. If you have a lung disease, like cancer of the lungs, and you're unwilling to stop smoking, then you're not a good candidate to do this. So I'm being summoned. It's time to start the show again.
Or leave her a voicemail at 407-373-5959. Once again, here's Lillian.
And welcome back to the Lillian McDermott Radio Show, where we're talking today about the McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation. I started this foundation after I realized that some of the treatments, or most of the treatments that heal the body when you have a deficiency, and nobody, by the way, is chemotherapy deficient or radiation deficient. What are you deficient in? So the McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation wants to change. It's a 501c3 not-for-profit organization. So any contribution that you make is tax exempt. What the McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation wants to do is change the way cancer is viewed. I know that it takes about 10 years for cancer to manifest in the body. And by the way, I've been told by the many doctors and healers that I've had on the show that we all have cancer in our body. And we could be probably diagnosed 7 to 8 times in our lifetime. But because the body is healthy, it heals and it kind of gets rid of, it encapsulates the bad cells, the cells that have gone rogue. Cancer is a cell that didn't die, but just keeps multiplying, and the body encapsulates it. So we would like to change the way cancer is viewed. And we want to create awareness about integrative holistic therapies. And we want to, sometimes you can heal just by changing your lifestyle. Other times you need a coach, someone to help you through there. And sometimes you need a little bit more of an invasive approach, therapies of whatever. And we have quite a few at the McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation.org. You can check it out. So we want to create awareness. And then we want to provide funding for people who have cancer but want to try holistic treatments and therapies but can't afford it. Again, I would have been able to write that check prior to the housing crisis. But because I could no longer write that $3,500 check a week, it made me think, gosh, we need to do something different here. We need to come together. We need to heal together. And so the McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation, once we have enough donations, that is our goal, is to start helping people. But they need to do whatever it takes. Whoever wants to be a part of this healing has to do whatever it takes. In other words, if you're a smoker and you have lung cancer, you must give up smoking, because you can take these therapies just like a pill, but if you're not willing to do the work, it's not going to help you. That's a waste of money. You might as well just go down the path that you choose to go down and see where it leads you. But at what point you decide that you want to quit something that's harming your body, then we're all in with you. We will help you with that. And last, what we want to do in the McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation is we want to replace fear with hope. And I want to encourage you to go to whenyouneedafriend.com. I didn't talk about how to get a hold of me in social media. You can go to whenyouneedafriend.com, subscribe there, and all this information that I'm sharing with you, all the holistic teachers, you can listen to any of these shows, educate yourself. This is what we want to do. We want to educate. So go to whenyouneedafriend.com and go from there, or you can go to McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation.org. We need your help. Subscribe to the McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation. Yesterday, I went to this wonderful, inspiring, extraordinary women, Teresa Rayo. She's the founder of that group. They put together a beautiful luncheon, and we will benefit 20% of what they got. And I'm really thrilled because that 20% is more than what we had before. And so any bit, if you want to donate $1, if you want to go to our Facebook page, you can donate on our Facebook page, McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation. You can, or the McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation there, and the McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation.org. You can donate as well. If you want to donate $5, $1, whatever you donate, you can just go straight to the foundation website. That way it just goes straight to us. And there's if you go to GoFundMe, or not GoFundMe, but PayPal, they take a percentage as well. But 100% of whatever we collect, we're using it to right now build the foundation, and then it will go to you, my friends, my listening and viewing friends, to heal. And so I want to encourage you to go to McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation. Look at all the different therapies that are there for you. But remember, have a plan. Don't just go and have these. Figure out what your deficiencies are. You would not put gas, you put gas in your car, right? But you put the right gas in the car. If you have unleaded premium, would you put the regular unleaded? Or would you put sand in your gas tank and expect the car to run? No, put what in your tank to be able to run, and the right fuel for you. Figure that out. What is it that is deficient? There are doctors out there, wonderful holistic healers, wonderful MDs that have decided that they want to be integrative. Go to an integrative, a true integrative doctor that will treat you with nutrition, that will teach you in a different way. It's not just a pill. And I know that people get, some people get offended. You can take a pill, you can take responsibility. It's not that I'm against the pill. I am for doing whatever it takes to heal. What is that for you? Everybody's different. One size does not fit all when it comes to healing. That's why chemotherapy, radiation, and surgery don't make sense to me. But maybe that's exactly what you need. But not everybody. Remember, 2.1% have a success rate of 5 years or more. But are they healthy? My sister-in-law lived 6 years, 3 years longer than they anticipated, but the quality of her life was horrible. Horrible. So let's start the healing process. And I use this acronym for cancer. C, consider changing your lifestyle, nutrition, exercise, meditation, and more. A, accept the things you cannot change and change the things you can. If you can change it, change it. N, nurture your spirit and discover what deficiencies you have. C, connect with your higher power. You are not alone. We are all one, and we are all connected to that power within us. That was that power that created us, gave us the power within us to heal. E, educate yourself and learn about other far less toxic healing options. And R, responsibly make informed decisions that benefit your body to heal. Please go to McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation.org. I don't care how much you donate. I don't care what it is. Just encourage others. Consider this foundation as a viable foundation that will help change the way we react if we ever get a diagnosis. Just remember, prevention is key, and that's the most important thing. And the McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation adopts a nutritarian diet. That means 5% animal products, and the rest is greens, beans, mushrooms, onions, berries, seeds, and nuts. You can eat very well and be healthy. There's a misconception out there that says that if you want to eat healthy, somehow it tastes bad. I'm proof that food can taste well. And all you have to do is take these recipes. You do not inherit your parents' DNA. Yes, you do, but that does not it does not cause the illness. What you inherit are their recipes mostly. And so 5%, less than 5% is because of your DNA, but mostly we are not victims of our DNA. We can choose positive thoughts that will nourish our body as well. So please go to McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation.org, donate, or give us your time, your talent, whatever it is. Spread the word, spread the good news that we are here call me at 407-373-5959 if you want to be a part of this. We're looking for a larger board of members that will help us. We want to do a foundational we want to do a fundraiser in Jacksonville. We want to do a fundraiser in Brevard County. Help me. How can you help me? Reach out. Lily.McDermott@McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation.org. Or you can just reach me at whenyouneedafriend.com. Let's connect with one another. Please consider having the McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation be part of your charities that you donate to every year. And change the way cancer looks. No more bald heads, unless you're follically challenged. But please help us, help me create this. Will you consider adding the McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation to the charities that you contribute to? Please consider it. Please consider this new truth. And I'm so grateful and honored that you listened today. This is Lillian McDermott wishing you love, peace, joy, and unexpected abundance. Make it the best day ever. Okay, so now that, just real quick, Brian, because I know that you need to go, but I just want to encourage you to also watch some videos, some documentaries. Cancer, the Forbidden Cure, Forks Over Knives, Food Matters. Another one that you can watch is Eating You Alive. Another one you can watch is Truly Heal Cancer Now. Truly Heal was the first video I saw. Then Cancer, the Forbidden Cure was the next one. Just embrace yourself to learning this new truth. It's going to make you sick for a while. The new truth, that is, because it's a tough pill to swallow. To think that there may never be a cure for cancer because it's big business now. All the people that have died thinking that they're making the right choice. Learn what your body needs. Learn its deficiencies and heal the body. And the side effects are joy, peace, love, and the dys-ease, that discomfort, that dys-ease will just go away. And that's what my dream is. So join me. Can you join me becoming a member of the foundation or a volunteer? Please consider this new truth. And thank you so much for listening.